and I want to start with the hotkeys. And you know that execution is everything in Wall Street, and the name of the game is actually being fast like the light. If not, someone else will eat your meal in Wall Street. So the question is, how do professional traders utilize their trading software using the hotkeys in order to have a substantial edge over other traders? And this is something that we need to we need to accomplish as traders. Edges. I want an edge over other traders. If I don't have an edge, I don't have anything. If I'm doing just what the normal trader is doing, I'm a loser trader. I'm a losing trader. I need to have an edge over someone else, and the mission in Wall Street is to have an edge. An edge can be a strategy, a good strategy. An edge can be to be faster than other when we are getting to execution. So I really want to focus on executions and to get into the larger resolution of how to upgrade your execution to be excellent. One question to you before I start: is anyone here in the room is using hotkeys? Is anyone here is using hotkeys when it comes to trading, or you are just placing an order normally with the mouse? That means you are going to type in your stock box, and I'll just broadcast my screen. So if you want, for example, to buy Apple, does it mean, and let's say we want to get Apple above 97.90, for example, does it mean that you are going to type the number of stocks, you are going to get here the appropriate command, the appropriate order, let's say a stop order, then you are going to click on buy, then you are going to click on OK, then you are going to choose from the type, what type of an order I want, a market order, limit order, trailing order, let's say a limit order, then I need to put a trigger price, then I need to put a limit price. This is, you don't think about it, but this is a very, very long process. And with all the computers around, with all the HFT, with all the automatic machines, it really becomes a game of being faster than other traders. So just to know, are you using hotkeys, anyone, or are you using just ordinary actions in order to send your orders? All right. So Paul is saying that he uses old school. Jordan says he put his default setup for 500 and just click. All right, and just adjust from there. All right. And Paul, we are going to see how to set up hotkeys. Absolutely. All right, Patty is not with hotkeys yet. All right, also Ty set the default size, and that is good. That is the start, but it's only the start. There are much more things you can do with the hotkeys. I remember I once met a stock trader who was an institutional trader, and he bet on big sums, which means on a daily basis he could make $20,000 or $30,000, and on bad days, the opposite, he would be able to lose $15,000 or $20,000 a day. Now, don't worry about him, because his paycheck was about couple of hundreds of thousands of dollars each month. So this guy actually made about $15 million per year. Now, once I had the luck to meet him and sit behind him while he was trading, and he had a trading style of a market maker, which means he all the time had buy orders in the system below the price of the stock and sell orders above the current price of the stocks. Remember that he rolled tens of thousands of shares on each trade. So of course he couldn't actually trade on Apple or stocks with great momentum and great movements like Apple. He needed actually to concentrate or to focus on a very specific stocks like Cisco, Intel, Citigroup. So let's put here, for example, Intel. All right, and as you can see, Intel today Intel is quite volatile. It went from 31 to 31.70. That means it made 70 cents, but 70 cents it's a wide range day for Intel. Usually you're going to see Intel, the ranging price, the daily ranging price of Intel is going to be from about 30 cents to 50 cents, and this is the kind of stock that he looked for. Now, so that means stocks with low volatility and high volume. Anyway, I remember staring at him while trading, and he really looked to me like a professional piano player, putting his fingers over the keyboard. And that was one of the best concerto I saw in my life. That was amazing. He didn't use the mouse at all. So for instance, if he would press F1 on the keyboard, that was to buy 10,000 shares of Cisco. Okay, let's put here Cisco. Alright, and Cisco fits the criteria. Cisco has a volatility today of about 40 cents from low to high. Alright, so pressing F1 would buy him 10,000 shares of Cisco. Another hit on the F2 button on the keyboard, and he's placing a selling order of 5,000 shares. Alright, all his trading was manually on the keyboard. He would just hit the keyboard like like a piano player is playing the piano. He wouldn't use the mouse. Why is that? Why do you think he didn't use the mouse at all? Yeah, right eye. So F1 maybe it's not a good example. Usually we want to use hotkeys that are not saved for other functionality in our system, and F1 usually bring up the help. Alright, so Paul is saying it has to be fast, and Patty is saying too slow, right? So the mouse is too slow. So actually when Microsoft invented the mouse, or I think it was Xerox that invented the mouse about 40 or 50 years ago, that was a graphical pointer on our screen, and it actually back then we used the DOS. If you remember the operating system, everything was on the keyboard. There wasn't a device like a mouse, there wasn't a pointer like a mouse. We didn't have even a socket in the computer to plug a mouse to it. And then there was a great revolution, and the mouse was invented. And the invention of the mouse in particular was in order to help us to have a graphical pointer on the computer, and to be more efficient when we are operating in front of our computer. But when it comes to trading, actually it's slowing us down. So he wanted an edge, this trader, in his trading, and his edge was speed, to be faster than anyone else. All of us need an edge in trading, and I'm going to repeat it over and over. What is your edge? And an edge is not just in trading, it's in the business world as a whole. If you are going to open a shoe shop, you need to have an edge. What is your edge? Let's say you are now opening a new shoes shop. All right, you are going to sell shoes. What is your edge? All right. Can you create a nice environment for the customers to get into a shop that other shoe sellers don't have? Therefore, you are going to have an edge because you are going to attract more buyers into your shop. Maybe you have good connections with a Chinese firm and therefore you can get your shoes at a cheaper prices. Therefore, you are going to sell. You are going to have an edge over the price you are selling your. You are going to sell your your shoes. Maybe, I don't know, maybe, all right, you have good connections with the big vendors of shoes, therefore you are going to be the first in the market with any new design, all right? This is an edge, but what is your edge? And we have actually to transform this question into our trading. What is the edge in our trading? And his edge here was speed, to be faster than anyone else. And we all need an edge in trading. The edge can be found in your trading style. The edge can be found in your position management. The edge can be found. The edge can be being really fast when it comes to buy and sell. So today I want to show you what he did, this trader, this big trader, and how I learned from him to be really fast when it comes to send orders of buy and sell to the marketplace. Think of the following situation. You are in the live trading room of TradeNet. Then maybe Meir is coming up with an official call on Apple to go long above $92. And this is a great cup and handle formation. This is the pattern this is the pattern of your pond. This is your territory. You are the master of this territory because you are the number one trader in the world of trading cup and handles formation. And this is not just a very nice and very harmony cup and handle pattern. Also, it's forming right below the round number, the $92. All right. So actually, this is what you are looking. You are looking for all through the trading day. This is why you are opening your computers. This is why you are coming to Wall Street. Now, you are waiting for the breakout, and once the breakout occurs, there is the price is going really fast upwards, and you have 20 cents, you have 30 cents, and then Meir is telling you, all right, I'm going to capitalize 40 cents, I'm going to take partial of 40 cents. Then you are looking at your account manager, and you are amazed to see that you are not there. You don't have any share, you didn't get any share, you didn't have an execution. You still have an open order, but you didn't get an execution. Is there anything more frustrating than that? All the traders in the room got into a trade that is a winner, a big winner. It's making the day in the room, but you are not part of it. You made everything right, all right? You prepared for it. It's one of the patterns you are trading as part of your strategy, but when it was the time to send the order, you just weren't fast enough, and therefore the train has left the station and you just come 2 seconds late. There's nothing more frustrating than that. In Wall Street, professional stock traders are using the keyboard for trading like they were gifted piano players. They are not using the mouse almost at all. The mouse is a convenient tool when we are using the computer, but it's also slower than using the keyboard. And when it comes to Wall Street, the competition is at the highest level, and any edge you can take, you don't hesitate, you just take. So watching professional traders in Wall Street trading is like watching a piano player playing. Stock traders in Wall Street are actually playing concertos when it comes to the trading sessions, and you can actually hear in the air all the keyboard strikes of buying and selling. So let's get to hotkeys and what are actually hotkeys. So hotkeys allow you to program specific keyboard strokes to execute predetermined commands, like selling half a position at a predefined level for profit while placing a protective stop below the last support of the stop price action below the last support. So let's see how we are doing that. So first of all, in the Colmex platform, we are clicking on config in the menu bar, in the toolbar, and from there you are going a couple of lines lower and you are going to find here the hotkeys. One click on the hotkeys and we have here the hotkeys configuration, hotkey configure. In the command, we have here a couple of commands, a couple of columns. In the hotkey column, we can actually we can have here a list of available commands. In the hotkey column, next to the selected column, we can just hold down the actual keys you want to assign to that command. For instance, left click the field next to buy button. All right, so here's the buy button. This is the first command in the hotkeys configuration. If I'm going to hold down Control plus A, all right, I have here Control plus A is appearing here on the configuration. Now, just make sure you are going to tick here the box enable hotkey. Okay, enable hotkey, and you can do it with me together. And now, and we are going to click the save button, save keys. And now, pressing the Control key and the A key simultaneously together will have the same effect as using the mouse of clicking the buy button. All right, the buy button. So so for example, so I can always assign F2, F3, any combination of keys I want in order to have a buy button, but it actually can be much more sophisticated and much more complicated. In order to delete a key, all we have to do is a left click on the hotkey, highlighting it, and click on the delete button. All right, and here it disappeared from the hotkey. Also, I can click on top of the hotkey column, highlighting the entire column, and click the delete button. All right, and I'm going to delete all the keys, and all the keys are now disappeared, and we can assign as whatever keys we want to. Most hotkey commands are actually self-explanatory, and here's some clarification. So, for example, all plus, you can see here plus 500 plus 500 shares plus 1,000 shares. All of the plus signs actually saying that you are going to add 1 cent to the best level 2 bid. All the minus commands are actually all the minus commands, all right, here the price, all the minus commands are actually referring to the price, are actually saying you are going to decrease 1 cent from the best level to ask. Cancel, we have also here a cancel first, cancel last, cancel sell is going to cancel the last order sent. We can also cancel by symbol. Cancel by symbol is going to cancel all open orders with the same symbols as the last order sent, or we can have even a panic button of cancel all, and we are going in a minute to create such a panic button in the hot buttons, all right, which are different from the hot buttons, which are different from the hotkeys, the hot buttons, which is a panic. That means just to cancel all open orders. We can also close all position. This is the panic actually. Close all positions if there's something terrible is coming into the market and we just want to liquidate everything we have. We can just close all positions at once. Now, let's go over the slideshow and see what kind of hotkeys we can have. So Colmex comes with about 120 predefined hotkeys, and we have another 5 hot buttons we are going to address in a minute under the in the stock box. In the stock box, I'll just show you. All right, these are the hot buttons, and we are going to address it in a minute. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so let's see a couple of things we need to understand, a couple of definitions when we are coming to define the hotkeys. First of all, controlling the share size. So as you are going to see, there are key commands, and the key commands, like any computer language, is going to decide what kind of variable can you enter into this command. So for example, share, you can write down share equals 100 or share equals 200, and that means part of the command will be to set 200 shares for the command you want to send. But also you can say that share equals POS position. That means the Colmex platform is going to return the amount of shares you have right now in a running position to the stock box. This is really, really good when you want, for example, to liquidate everything. You just want to close the position, so that and you don't want, and again, speed is everything here. So you just want the Colmex to tell you how many shares I have in Microsoft, how many shares I have in a current position, in a current running position. I don't want to look even in my account manager, so share equals position will make sure you have all the amount of shares in your account right now. Share can also be partial of your position, like 1/3 of the position or half of your position. That means let's say we want to take a partial with a hotkey. I can place share equals a half a position, and that means I want to right now sell half of my position. And bear in mind that when we are making partials, when we are taking partial profits in our trading, we are always cutting half of our position. We are always liquidating half of our position. So for example, in my first target, I'm going to take half of my original position. In my second target, I'm going to take a quarter of my original position, which is half of the reminders. At my third target, I'm going to take 1/8 of my original position, which is exactly half of the last quarter I had. All right, so share equals half position is a great for a partial command, and we are going to see it in a moment. Also, I can control the price, and the key command here is price equals. For example, if price equals bid plus 0.01, that means I'm going to send an order that the price is looking on the best level 2 price. For example, right now the best level 2 price here on Cisco is 23.30. It's going to add 1 cent to 23.30 in order to be the first in the line. All right, if I want to sell, for example, and I want to be first in the line to sell, I can put price equals ask minus 0.01, and that means if I want to sell Cisco, that will send a sell position 1 cent below the best seller. The best seller right now is 23.31. It's going to send an order at 23.30. Let's see what else we have here. Controlling the route. All right, controlling the route, what kind of route you want to define. If you are using a stock platform, you can send any order through a specific ECN like a Nasdaq or like ARCA, and here the last character actually defines what kind of order is going to be. Let's say a Nasdaq L is sending a limit order through the Nasdaq ECN, Nasdaq M is sending a market order through the Nasdaq ECN, and S means sending a stop order through the Nasdaq ECN. If you are using CFD, so instead of Nasdaq or ARCA, you are just putting here CFD. Let's see how we can, a couple of common examples, how we can combine several variables in order to create one command. So let's say I want let's say I want to double my position. I have a position in Cisco and I want to double my position. So the order can be route equals Nasdaq L. That means I'm going to send a limit order through Nasdaq ECN. Price equals bid plus 0.01 in order to be the first in line. Also, I'm putting here pay attention that you are using semi-comma in order to separate between different commands. Then we are telling the hotkey that we want to buy. I can also put here a sell command, and share equals position. So this position is going actually to send an order to be first in the line. That means to be a buyer at 1 cent above the best buy right now in the market, and the share is going to be the position I have. So if I already have 1,000 shares in Cisco, I'm going to double it. It's going to send 1,000 shares of buy for Cisco. The other thing is that I can also send a sell order. For example, route equals Nasdaq L, price equals ask minus 0.01. That means I want to be the first seller with the best price. So I'm telling Colmex to look who is the seller with the best price now, decrease 1 cent, so I can be the first in the line. And after the semi-comma, we are putting here a sell command. All right, so we can combine couple of variables to create one order. Let's see an example. Let's say we are in a live trading session, and here's a chart, and now there is an official call in the room to go long on ADSK above 54.83 with a stop at 54.49. So let's examine for 1 second the chart and the trading call we have here. So actually ADSK started the day with a gap down. It went downwards actually for the first 2.5 hours of the day. Then it found a bottom and started to go up. What's interesting here in this example, and by the way, this was an official call a couple of on the 1st of October, at the first of the month, a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago actually. We can see here a burst in momentum. You can see here a sequence of green bars. One goes higher after the other. So this is exactly what we like in order to spot a bursting momentum in stocks. Also, we can have here a confirmation for this upside momentum with the volume. Look that the volume is spiking up. Referring to Thai question, yes, you can use CFDR. You are using CFDR as a route when using the CFD. Absolutely. All right. So ADSK is actually going in one leg from low to high. All right. A little bit of a pullback, but now our perception of ADSK turned upside down. At the start of the day, we thought of ADSK to be a stock maybe which is a candidate for short because it went in a gap and go motion, right? It gapped down and continue to reach a new bottom after new bottom. Then all the picture went flipped upside down, and this is the first pullback we can want to use. Now, you can actually try to take this reversal, but the trade in the room was waiting for the stock to climb back to the prior resistance, another pullback to the downside, and now we can have here a very, very nice pattern of cup and handle exactly on 54.83. But again, when we have such great patterns, you have to understand that the competition in Wall Street is huge. You are not the only traders who see right now ADSK on the chart. Are you kidding? There are 1,000 of traders like you who are watching right now ADSK and the great pattern here, the cup and handle, and they want to get into it. So the worry here is that not sending the order too fast, and this kind of opportunity is just going to pass by, and we are not going to be part of it. And as you can see, actually after breaching 54.83, the stock climbed sharply higher and went up to $56, making a movement of about $1.20. So let's look. Let's look how we can actually design design a hotkey in order to address this issue, in order to be the first in the line. So the hotkey should be buy semicomma, share can be equal 500 semicomma. All right, you don't have to mention share equals 500. You can place here any fixed share, which is the normal shares you are taking for any trade, and the price we are going to place here will be ask plus 0.02 in order, let's say, in order to activate this order to be like a market order. So not just that I'm going to buy this share, I'm going to look who is the best seller right now, and I'm going to offer a price that is 2 cents above the best offer. That means I'm going to get an immediate execution. That means I'm going to be in this trade. I'm not going to miss this trade. All right, so we are in this trade. All right, and then we want to think about partials. So the first partial, the first profit target in the room is set to 55.20. So let's say the analyst in the room right now that called this entry is telling you should take first target at 55.20. You want to be really, really fast. So, and and maybe you don't want to put it in advance, because if you you put in advance, you will put an order at 56, but the stock is climbing up, there is a good momentum, so you don't want maybe to put a predetermined target price. You just want to follow the stock, and if it's continue to climb up, you just want to follow it, but at a certain point you just want to hit one button at your keyboard and to take partial. So the appropriate hotkey for that will be sell half pos, which means taking partial, take half of the position you are holding. So if you are holding 500 shares, that means you are going to get 250 shares into the amount of shares in your stock box, and price equals bid. All right, for example, the same work for the second target. So the stock, you took your partial, now you are left with the last 250 shares. The stock continues to climb higher, a little bit sideways movement, and then it's pushing higher. Now you are ready to take your second partial. All you need to do is to hit the pre-designed key, and it will sell you another half of a position. Price equals bid. All right, so you just need to now the stock, you are left now with the last quarter, and this is a very, very nice uptrend ADSK turn to be. At the end of the day, you are day traders, you want to cash all. You don't, as a day trader, you are not meant to be left with shares in your account. So you want to sell at the end of the day. So therefore, you are designing yourself another hotkey, which means sell at the end of the day, and that should be sell post, sell all the amount of shares I'm holding in this position, semicolon, price equals bid, or price can also be equals ask, in order to be sure you are going to get an immediate execution. Okay. Any questions? Any questions about that? I really urge you to discover these hotkeys. And actually, you know, let's tell me if you have any questions. Let's try to create here a hotkey. So let's say I want to okay, let's say I want to take, I'm going to use one of the hotkey that is already prepared here, and you can always take, you don't have to invent the wheel from scratches. You can just scroll down and to understand the language. It's a very simple language, and then to adjust the things you need in order to have the order you want. So what I suggest to you is to try to learn it. The hotkey allow you to activate sequence of commands while pressing only one button. But before you start to do it, try to make sure the commands are properly configured, and the best is to test it on small amounts, all right, to see that the computer, the order is actually doing what you meant to do. So let's see if you have any questions. Jordan, I'd like to see what you use for hotkeys. Can we get a screenshot? Yeah, absolutely, Jordan. I'm going to get that in a minute. I'll have here, in a minute, we are going to see a table of recommended commands, okay? So you can have it. Ty is asking if root equals CFDR, order type equals limit, price equals buy, bid minus 0.05, semicolon, short. Would this be good for shorting? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. This is the right command. You can also actually add for that share equals 500, or share equals any amount you want. Okay. Now all the hotkeys, all the list of the hotkeys that we can see here in the Colmex platform is actually saved under a file called hotkey.cfg. This is placed in the installation folder of Colmex, so you can actually share it. You can actually share it with other traders in the room. You can share it between yourself. This is a this is a hotkeys list, a suggestion that you can use. For example, entering a long position, that means the roots equals Nasdaq L or CFDR, price equals ask plus 0.02, semicolon buy. That means you are going to buy at the ask, but you are willing to pay a better price than the best seller in order to make sure you are in the trade. All right, and you can sign here the hotkey Control B, which means buy. You can, but you can also assign any other key that suits you. Selling half of your long position. This is a very common, very useful command in order to take partial. So root equals the Nasdaq L, price equals ask minus 0.02, or you can also make price equals bid. So you are just selling to the best buyer. share equals half position. All right, so you are taking just half of your position, and the order you want to send is sell position, and I assign control plus H. If you like to use a trailing stop, and when we have a momentum, let's say we will go back to ADSK, and as you can see, part of the time we are in a stock, and suddenly the momentum is raising its head, and suddenly the stock is moving faster and faster, and we don't just want to take a partial, we want to trade it. We want to let the stock, we want to ride the gains. We don't know how much the stock is going to achieve. We don't know if there is even a ceiling, or where is going to be the ceiling for the stock price. Then what I'm suggesting is to use a trailing stop, maybe a trailing stop of 5 cents. That means the computer is going to track the highest price of the stock, and when you are going to get a pullback of 5 cents, and you can define it to be 5 cents, 10 cents, 7 cents, this is usually depends on the volatility of the stock, it's going to stop you out and to take you partial. So in this kind of order, we are assigning a hotkey of, for example, control plus E, root equals Nasdaq S. All right, I have to use a Nasdaq S in order, a stop order, in order to use the trailing command. Share equals half position because I want to take a partial. Stop type equals trailing dollar in brackets, and that means that the S for the Nasdaq, the stop type is trailing. It is trailing stop, and right now I'm going to tell the computer that the trailing in dollars, everything is in dollars here, the trailing I want to use is 0.05. Look that it jumped one line lower, but it's 0.05. That means I want to trail 5 cents from the high, and the stop should be a stop sell because I want to sell this position. Of course, we have all these kind of commands on the opposite when we want to short, or we want to cover part of our short. All right. Before going to a break, just want to show you a couple of things on the hot button. So aside of the hotkeys, we also have an access to hot buttons, and we can configure all the hot buttons in order to have a quick access to certain elements when we are sending an order. For example, if I want 500 shares in the position size, I'm just clicking on the 500 button, all right, and that is going to increase, all right, or 2000 is exactly 2000. So look that we have that it's so look that these two buttons are function differently. The button of 2000 is just placing a fixed 2000 shares in the command line, but when I'm pressing on the 500, it's not placing 500 in the stock size. It's just increasing it by an increment of 500. All right, placing 100, this is a fixed one. So how can I actually adjust the hot buttons to what I need? So let's take, for example, and I'm going to show you a couple of nice things here. Let's take the 5,000. I think that the 5,000 is not suitable for anything. We are not buying 5,000 shares. So let's try to change this button. So I right click with my mouse on this button, or you can see it. Okay, here. Okay, so this is the 5,000. I right click on the 5,000. Okay, and first of all, the button name. So let's change it for a partial. All right, I want a button called partial. So this is where I'm going to take half of my position. Every time half of my position, because taking partial profit means to take half of what I have in the account. Now this is what's going to be titled on the button. Then I can choose the background from the color plate, whatever you like. Here I put a bright green, and then use hotkey. Use hotkey, clicking on the drop down menu, and then we can see a long list of options. And here what I want to find is half position, half pos. Alright, I pressed on the 2/3. Let's change it to half pos. Alright, okay, and this is ready. Now when I'm going to click on partial, if I have Cisco in my account, it's going to place half of the shares I have in the account into this box. Let's take the 500. Alright, and I right click on it. I'm going to change it to plus 100, and I want this button to function as to add 100 shares to what I already see in the size amount. Alright, so plus 100. Alright, the color is good, and here use a hotkey of plus 100 shares. Alright, so here's 100 shares. Okay, now if I have here 200, for example, pressing on 100, and it's going to go higher in increments of 100. Another very important key hot button that I'm putting in my account is a panic button. So let's make together a panic button. Right click on, let's say, the 100 button, and I'm going to change the button name to panic. Now use hotkey, we are going to change it to close all positions. Close all positions. Can you see it? Close all positions. This is a panic. Maybe we are going to put it in a red, so we will know this is a panic button. Alright, panic button. And that means if I want at one key to actually liquidate everything that I have, let's say I have 3 or 4 positions here, I want to liquidate everything, click on the panic, going to close every position you have. Garrett is saying that you can't use the trailing stop command for a CFD route. Is that correct? Well, Garrett, I think you can use the trailing stop. Actually, I didn't have any problem using in the CFD the trailing stop. There shouldn't be any problem using the trailing stop, and you know this is a very important command. All right, guys. This is, a short brief on the hotkeys. We can talk over and over about it, but the main issue here is that I wanted to address a problem and to show you how a solution that professional traders are implementing in order to address this issue, and hopefully you are going to try it both on the hot buttons and on the hotkeys. As usual, you can always send me email to shlomo@tradenet.com if you have any question or even if you want this presentation. All right, Patty is asking if can you write your own key and assign it to the button. So actually, I think that the hotkey here is alright. I think it's a predefined. Let me think about it. Actually, I don't think there is any problem to do that. I mean, if you are going to, let's try it. Let's go to config and go to 1 minute. Let's go to config and hotkey. And let's assign a new one, alright, a new key, and let's call it buy. Let's call it buy. Alright, a double position, okay, double the position. Okay, so the route here is going to be, let's say, a Nasdaq L, and I'm going to use a buy, and price is going to be equals ask, all right, and semicolon, and position, all right, and share is going to be equals position, all right. Drop down menu when assigning a command to the hot button, okay. Alright guys, I guess we are going to take a 10 minutes break, alright, and when we are going to get back in another 10 minutes, we are going to talk about a strategy. What does it mean to be a professional versus an amateur, and we are going also to learn a strategy, and especially how to backtest it, how to make a list of all the history of the strategy in order to know to analyze it, and to know where is the best partial, where is the best target, and what is the ratio, the win ratio of the strategy, and whether it suits me or it doesn't suits me. So let's take 10 minutes, and we are going to meet in 10.
Okay, we'll take 10 minutes here. We'll get together right at the bottom of the hour, 4:30, and finish this mentoring session up. Very good opening session, Shlomo. Really enjoyed that. And we'll take a 10-minute break, go get some water.